You open an app looking for connection. You scroll for 20 minutes, close the app, and realize you feel completely exhausted and more isolated than before you picked up the phone. We can call that original goal the ideal. Social media platforms were explicitly designed to help us relax, build communities, and maintain friendships across distances. Then we look at the reality. When we measure the actual outcomes on university campuses right now, we see severe spikes in daily anxiety, hours lost to mindless scrolling, and a relentless cycle of social comparison. This tension between expectation and reality provides the actual breeding ground for academic research. In academia, we define this tension as a problem statement. It is a precise, formal explanation of an issue that requires deliberate investigation. This diagram breaks the concept down into a three-part matrix. On the left, we establish the ideal. On the right, we define the reality. The empty space between them represents the specific consequences we need to address. By mapping our social media example onto the structure, the abstract feelings become concrete. The ideal pillar holds the goal of connection. The reality pillar holds the outcome of anxiety. And the gap between them holds the measurable consequence, like a downward trend in student grades. We have to distinguish between a symptom and a root cause. Feeling stressed is a symptom. The specific mechanism driving that stress is the root cause, and finding that cause is the whole point of the investigation. Identifying this specific gap transforms a vague, generalized complaint into a targeted, solvable research problem. Look at this hand-drawn collage. This visualizes how real-world issues never exist in a vacuum. They are chaotic, overlapping tangles of culture, technology, history, and human behavior. Without a highly focused problem statement, you will get lost in this environment. The central human figures here are trapped inside tight rings of gender, race, class, and historicity. You cannot untangle all of those forces at once. This is where feasibility comes in. A strong problem statement isolates exactly one testable thread from this massive web, a thread you can realistically investigate within your time and budget. That precision acts as your compass. It prevents you from drowning in a world of complex, unsolvable problems. Once you pull that single, specific problem out of the chaos, you must translate it into measurable components. We call these variables. The dependent variable is the core outcome or effect we care about. Returning to our example, the dependent variable would be the student's measured level of stress, or their academic performance. This flowchart tests those outcomes. The left node represents the independent variable, the specific factor causing changes, like hours spent on an app. An arrow connects it to the dependent variable, establishing cause and effect. This relationship naturally generates the specific research questions. This statement dictates every variable, objective, and question in the study, functioning as a structural blueprint for the entire project. If there is no defined problem, there are no research questions. If there are no research questions, there is absolutely no need for research. Drafting a solid problem statement is the true, non-negotiable starting point of any final year project. Identifying exactly what is broken and why it matters provides the study with a clear purpose and a documented reason to exist.